I am Saroj Kumar Pattnaik. I belong to a forest family. My father used to be a forest officer, but I never thought of joining a forest service, nor I tried for it also. I was thinking of civil services and all that, but the first examination that I appeared, the first and last examination I appeared was the forest service, and I was selected. So having joined, I took interest in the forest service and all that. Then the journey started, the forest service and all that. I joined the state forest service. Eventually got in forest service back in 1972. Coming to Nandankanan is also, I never thought of coming to Nandankanan at all. Nor I ever tried to come to Nandankanan. It began with Agasti. Whether you know Agasti or not, I don't know. Agasti was a wild tusker who was creating havoc in Ganjam. Not havoc means taking crops, food crops and all that, but never attacking anybody. So there was a clamor that the animals should be eliminated. So I said no, this is such a sweet-tempered animal. It's not creating any problem for anybody personally, neither attacking a person or breaking in a house or anything. So let's capture him. First thing, we tried to send him back to his own habitat with police and forest staff. We did that. Eventually, after a month or so, he came back again to Chhatarpur area. Then we thought of tranquilizing the animal. So tranquilizing an elephant in training was not known in this part of the country, nor in the world also. We late Saroj Chaudhary, Padma Shri Saroj Chaudhary, was the field director, Tiger Project in Simripal. I requested him. He said, I can put him down, but thereafter the problem will be yours, because you are the DFO. I said, okay, I'll take the trouble, but let's not allow him to be killed. So that's how the process started. He came, he helped us through it. That became the first ever tranquilization of a wild tusker in the world and training. This happened over a course of some days, and then the training also took 3 months or so, which was a big challenge. The time is so short to narrate all that. Thereafter, he wrote an article to the Bombay Naturalistic Society about the capture of this elephant, and several times he mentioned me in that. This somehow reached the Chief Minister, then Chief Minister of Odisha, who underlined that and said that, where is this officer? Why not bring him to Nandankanan? So I was called in the month of February, I was called from Bhanjanagar. Sir, you come and join Nandankanan. He said, this is February month and all that. So it's too difficult to come, and I don't know anything about a zoo. I've never worked in a zoo. I've seen a zoo only as a visitor. So it will not be Mr. Pattnaik, it's a challenge because Nandankanan has lots of problems now. So we want to change. So I say, if it is a challenge, I'll take the challenge. That's how I landed in Nandankanan. By the time I came to Nandankanan, I was already, how many years? Quite a long time I was in the field earlier. I had hardly any experience of wildlife conservation other than this particular capture. Before that, I worked for conservation of black bucks in Ganjam. So these are the two major experiences I had, other than the census of animals in 1972. But Nandankanan became a real challenge. When I joined here, India's largest tiger safari and the second, lion safari, the second one in the country was coming up. We didn't have money. ITDC, Indian Tourism Development Corporation, they gave us some money. With that, we started constructing the first ever lion safari in Odisha and the second one in the country. So that lion safari thing started. Nandankanan, gives you insight into the animal behavior. Once you are in a zoo, particularly like Nandankanan, you start developing empathy for the animals and you feel that you are a part of them. So that really saved my career and further into the wildlife conservation and all that, for which I have worked not only here and in the zoos all over the country and many countries in the world. So I visited and advised also. And latest speaking, after my retirement also, I advised for a short while the Dubai safari. The Nandankanan is a natural zoo. When it was set up, the Nandankanan name was given as the Garden of Gods, the name was given by Dr. Adhanatanath. So they saw this area which is full of forest and all that, and Kanjia Lake. It's a very natural setting, which is not there in any other zoo in the country. So we should avoid concrete as far as possible. You should make both animal and the people to be part of their ecosystem. Animals will feel at home as long as you don't interfere with them. And they are giving as much space as they need and to take care of their behavior also. So whether it is a burrowing animal, it's a jumping animal, it's a climbing animal, or you have to take care of that. And least intervention by the public. Though there should be no barrier, but they should not be disturbed, unduly disturbed. So they should be at a respectful distance from the visitors. As a matter of fact, the zoo director should think that he is a part of all departments of the zoo. So he should treat equally all departments. And first thing, he or she has got to, because it's a small zoo, it's a small township or some village you can say. There are all sorts of people, including animals. So first thing that you must know each and every one of them. Say I am now, 30 years back I was in the zoo. But till now I know the old people, those who are there, I know their name and all that. Also part of their welfare and all that, you have to know that. That is the first thing. Second part of it is that, close supervision is very much essential. So sometimes suddenly you have to do it. I used to stay in Unit 9. And sometimes early morning, without calling the driver, I used to take the car and come straight here. Dr. Acharya was near the gate, staying near the gate. I used to have a cup of coffee with him and then we walk down because that's the time the sweeping people, they do come here. From that time, if you start observing, people, there are good people, there are bad people, there are all sorts of people. They know that somebody is seeing our work. Then ask, how are you? How are your family? Is there any problem? First thing is that your control. Second thing is the empathy. how compassionate are you towards them? If you start beating something, only it's not done. You have to say in a bullock, you have to feed him well and all that, and then also you stick also. It's like that, the entire, you have to treat the entire Jew staff as your family. When I talk to each of them, even now, today, the old people, those who see me, they come down and ask me, how are my children? So my children, my son-in-law is retired, all that, they are also very old people now, but they think that they are also children. They keep on asking them about my children and all that, even today, when I come to Nandankanan. So, the coordinates, the first thing is empathy, second thing is control. These both carrot and stick, both have to be a part of it. You can't be lax. You have to see the supervision and all that. And sometimes at night, whether the people are watching properly or not, I come down and take somebody, SAF, or Mr. Patel was there, he is no more, Kiradhar Patel. Patel, let's go. So evening 9 o'clock or so, whether the people are there at the respective places or not, what are they doing, that sort of thing. So this is how you have to manage the zoological garden. So the designer has to think that he is a zoo animal. The animal, the enclosure he or she is about to design, he must place himself or herself in the place of that animal. So it's a monkey enclosure. So, like we had wallabies, these little kangaroos from Australia. The Taronga Zoo, Sydney, they said that we'll give you the animals after if you design your enclosure according to our design. Please send your design, so they sent us our design. We constructed an enclosure accordingly. They said they very nice, so they sent the animals. But there are no langurs in Sydney. So we left the animal, it was open. So langurs created havoc with the. So you have to know their habitats and all that, and from where they are coming, how they are there. So design will be based on the animal you want to display. And the design element, there is a very important thing is, have you heard of immersion exhibits? So your main path should not be through the enclosure. There should be a barrier, that is a particularly vegetative barrier, between the main path and the enclosure. So that neither the animals can see the main path, which is crowded, nor the visitor who is seeing the animals. He is not, his attention is not diverted to the main, to his paths. So he is focused on the zoo animal. So animal is not disturbed. Second thing is that all should be naturalistic and open air as far as possible. And like we designed the nocturnal animal house. When we designed it, there is only one nocturnal house that was in Hyderabad. So it was a close affair. You have to observe all that also. Hyderabad was the nocturnal animal house. So there 24 hours the animal used to be inside a cubicle. They were never allowed to go outside or have a free air or anything. So I designed it. I said, no, this is not done. The time in the display, you can keep the animal inside in a cubicle. But after that, he could be free. There is free air and open air and all that. You can display his own behavior. There is all that. So you see, in nocturnal animal house, you have in a backside crawl. So crawl concept was first time came from Nandankanan in a nocturnal animal house. So if I keep on telling you treatment, I will go on. It's several hours it will take. So this is one example I gave you. So you should do that and give as much space as possible. And second thing is that it should be it should not be the number. It should be the large area with larger social groups with a smaller number. And another thing that you have understood, we have to give emphasis on the indigenous animals, not exotics. So exotics have a display value, but not a conservation value. So display is okay. People want to see something in display, but for a conservation value, nothing like your indigenous animals and birds. As a matter of fact, in situ conservation or ex situ conservation should go hand in hand. Zoos should be considered as a conservation centers rather than a entertainment center. We must think of, that is why when in first part of my interview I told you that we have to give importance to our indigenous species rather than exotics. We have to conservation breeding program of indigenous species to be given importance. So let us earmark some endangered species of the locality which we can breed and give importance to those particular species for conservation breeding. So like display, we can have few animals, but this will be off display enclosures where you can keep them and do it. We started this, of course, with Nandankanan on wild caught tigers. So by the time me and late Dr. Acharya, with help of CZA, we identified 21 tigers in the zoos of India who were caught from the wild. We wanted to cross them so that we have animals which least human touch, so that we keep them separately. We do not handle them, but keep them away from visitors and all that, so that they maintain their wild habit, so that in case of necessity they can go back to the wild when a species becomes threatened. So we can go to the wild, and we should have close contact with the managers of the sanctuary, national parks and the forest divisions. Like pangolin. We are doing a very good job in the first zoo in the country which has bred pangolins. Thanks to Rajesh also to an extent. So we can think of reintroducing them to the wild in consultation with the local forest officer and all that. So we should have close contact with them and also breed them and keep them separate from the normal and the animals which are exposed to the visitors. To keep them away, have least contact with the keepers also. Do not too often go and handle them, so that they can feel free and they can, when you reintroduce them into the wild, they can behave like wild animals. And so that is how we can support. There are many species which can think of doing it. Our example, one good example is our gharial. We have reintroduced gharials in Mahanadi, and we have been successful in getting progeny also. So that's a great thing we have done. And for that, what we did, we we get Bajrabahu, a lone. We didn't have in India. There is no male gharial in captivity anywhere. So intentionally we started searching. So Frankfurt Zoo said, yes, we have a pair male, we can give it. So he brought it, named him Bajrabahu, and he was successful in the first ever breeding of gharials. Took place in 1980 here in Nandankanan. And for him, we made a naturalistic enclosure also. How we made the naturalistic enclosure? We found the depth of Satkosia gorge. So 9 meters. So we made it 9 meters. Then it was a flowing water. So we made a flowing water there. So water will flow, come out and get out. So that we simulated the nature as much as possible. So that is how you go for a conservation breeding or restocking the wild and institute access to conservation, both meet together. There are many things which we did here, like lion safari we constructed, and with discarded chain link mesh and that we made that cave-like look. So when later Rajiv Gandhi inaugurated that, he first told me, director, you have taken advantage of a natural cave. I said, sir, it's not a natural cave. So what is it? So I'll show you after you inaugurate. Then when he put on the switch, a gate opened. So he said, electronic gate, nowhere in India there is an electronic gate. I said, it's not an electronic gate. So what's it? No, it's a manual operator. I'll show you the operation. So I took him, showed him and all that. So the astonished that this is not a natural cave. Fortunately, we had Rajkumar, our artist, who did it. Day and night he worked for that. And it all discarded chain link mesh, which were a useless one. We use that and all that. So you have to use your imagination also. So that is one project. So similar projects are many, like the tiger safari we did here. And this year, your waterbird aviary. Many projects in the AI, herbivore safari and all that. So all this we did. And mostly what we did, we wanted to make it naturalistic as far as possible, within our resources and space available. So that's how we did it. I say memories. There is a group of senior officers, and many of them are wildlifers of the country. They are under training in Gopavandhu Academy. They came and visited all that. We are going near about that leopard enclosure, we are passing through that. Suddenly a Bengali lady came running. He said, Bagh beriye gachi, bagh beriye gachi, bagh beriye gachi. That means the tiger has escaped. So I said, how do you know? I have seen. The tiger is standing. So as I was trying to go, she held me, said, don't go. So I said, I am the director, I am supposed to go, you go and vacate this sea. So I asked all others that you come to the rest house and be in the rest house. So I am going. So I got alone. So about 30 feet, 40 feet away, the tiger was standing and I am standing. And then where are the two? There are none else. The tiger and me. So somewhere my driver, Rauts, he heard that I am there. So he took my gypsy and went nearby. I said, stop there. So he looked at me. So I said, so that means he understood that tranquilizing gun and .315 loaded. He, Dr. Acharya came. And we were standing like that, the tiger and me, half an hour. He is standing there like doing like this and all that. I am standing looking at him straight without moving. I don't know why it has happened. There was a female, a tigress in the next enclosure who was in estrus. So while trying to go to that, he broke the chain link vessel in between and came out. So I asked Dr. Acharya, do you have beef? Those days we were giving beef. Now these days you are giving buffalo meat. Those days we were giving beef. He says beef is there. So somebody came above that and dangled beef, so that the tigress remained there. To reach him back again, he retraced his way, and about half an hour back he went to the enclosure. That is one memorable incident. So there are many incidents that has happened. If you tell me there are so many. Like once, our toy train was out of order. So out of order for quite some time. We didn't have, neither we had money, nor we had the mechanism to repair it and all. So I went to the Chief Minister and said that, sir, you write a letter to the Railway Minister. So I took a draft to Railway Minister. Madhavara Sindhya was the Railway Minister. I to him so that if they try to do, they can help us repairing it. He wrote a letter, and somebody came all the way from Agra to see this. So the local East Coast Railway, then East Coast Railway is not there, South Western Railway is there. The Kharagpur people said that why should the Agra people do it? We will do it. I said, it's good, you do it. So they came. So they took the engine and everything, they repaired it. By that time the Railway Minister changed, our K.C. Lenka, Kanusaran Lenka was the Railway Minister. So I invited Kanusaran Lenka and Chief Minister Biju Pattnaik. They kindly come and inaugurate. Everybody was there, Chief Secretary and all dignitaries were there near the boat ghat. So boat ghat, there was a meeting organized and all that, so they are all there. We heard from that Biju Pattnaik has already left his house, but K.C. Lenka is no information about him. Where is he? So I said, Biju Pattnaik can't be contained like that. If he comes alone, then he will say, I will inaugurate, and the Railway Minister will forgotten. So I walked down to the rhino enclosure and stood there. So he came, I asked him, what are you doing here? Hello, young man, what are you doing here? Biju Pattnaik asked me. Sir, these are rhinos and all that. Then he asked question on rhino. So the question and answer went on for half an hour, till K.C. Lenka reached, because he was detained in Bani Behar for something. So Biju Pattnaik in his own way, when he came, you didn't come till now. He said, no, I was detained in Bani Behar, sir. So then both of them went and opened. So that's why the ropeway also is a similar story. The ropeway construction is the first ropeway in the country in a Jew situation. So there are so many, maybe 20, 30 stories, if I recall, so many stories. As a matter of fact, the first thing is that go to the field. The tendency has happened as people that don't go to the field and observe. And another message is that learn from the lowest possible staff in the field. So like here in Nandankanan, I didn't know anything about the zoo. I came just I didn't know, even I was hesitant. I told the secretary that I don't know anything about the zoo. How do I go? So my job was to talk to the lowest man in the field. Interact with the lowest man in the field. Even I went to Arigna Zoo. We couldn't communicate in Tamil, but I asked the man to translate in English. So I asked the smallest possible man about the zookeeper. The zookeeper was drawing everything that was happening in his enclosure. Amazing. You can't imagine. He was drawing so well. He was in charge of leopard enclosure. The feeding habit, climbing habit, mating habit, everything he was drawing. Pictures he was drawing. So people, they know a lot of things. We think that we know everything and we impose on that. That's wrong. You have to, a mahout, he knows his animal, intimately he knows his elephant. But if we impose things, that will go wrong. Don't impose. First listen. So one of our senior officers who is also retired now, has written in his book that when he joined as a professor in Nandankanan here, I told him, for 1 year, even you have to learn from the forest guard. Don't hesitate to ask him questions. So ask the forest guard. Then only you will know things. Today he is a top man. He went to the topmost level in the country and now also is doing well. So he has written in his book. So you have to learn from the lowest possible cadre also. And that is the I have given to all the officers. When they started as a professor with me, I have always told them this, that learn from the grassroots level. Don't think that because you have a forestry training or a wildlife training, you think that you know everything. No, you don't know. So that is what my message would be for the younger generation particularly.